The two warriors that never met, the Spartans and the samurai. Both fearsome warriors of their times were each held in awe and reverence for their martial prowess, extreme bravery, and willingness to die in battle for their people. Though history separated these most honorable of warriors, for a brief moment in time, the pages of history will be rewritten and you will bear witness to a battle for the ages. This is History Unfolded, Spartans versus Samurai. King Leonidas awakes from the strangest of dreams, but the day has come to face the Persians. Leonidas has readied his men for what he knows ought to be their last stand. As they awake from their encampment, cries of alarm ring out. The encampment is somehow not where it's meant to be. They're in a foreign area where the sun beats down relentlessly and the humidity is unlike anything in Greece. Unbeknownst to Leonidas, he and his men have awoken in feudal Japan, 1,700 years into the future, during the Sengoku period, where the samurai perfected the art of war in a time where wars raged constantly for almost 300 years. Leonidas and his men don't know where they are, but even in this unfamiliar land their bravery is plentiful, and Leonidas and his few thousand march west, hoping they return to their beloved Sparta. This decision, however, inadvertently places the Greeks on a direct course to intercept an approaching army, that being the army of Takeda Shingen, the Tiger of Kai. There, on the open plains, Japanese scouts spot the Spartans and relay back that a strange army marches on the Japanese. Undeterred by the information and suspecting a surprise attack, Shingen readies his army to face this new threat. The Spartans and Greeks realize that they're about to enter battle and make themselves ready into their signature phalanx. These men awoke this morning ready to give their lives for their people. Retreat was never an option. But before we unleash the hounds of war, let's pause for a moment and assess each of the armies. On the Spartan side is an army of around 7,000 men. Most are hoplites, heavy infantry with bronze breastplates, greaves, and helmets, as well as the signature bronze hoplon shield. They were equipped with long spears called dori and a short sword called the xiphos for close encounters. The Greeks favored the phalanx formation, one where rows of spears overlapped with each other to create a veritable wall of spears and shields, a formidable sight. The Greeks also have a small contingent of around 500 horses and a few hundred archers. As for the Japanese, Takeda Shingen has a small army of 3,000 men, only meant to reinforce the borders. However, the Japanese will not cower from a fight, even though an enemy may be superior in number. The Japanese of the Sengoku period have quite the assortment of different warriors per army. The samurai, elite warriors who wore laminated steel body armor, wielding their signature katana blade, the shorter wakizashi sword, the yari, a steel-tipped spear, coming in multiple variations and heads, as well as the yumi, a large asymmetrical bow favored by the Japanese. The army would also consist of archers as well as pikemen, who made up the bulk of the army. Cavalry was also extensively used in Japan. They were lightly armored and equipped with lances and swords designed for mobility and shock tactics. Lastly, dedicated rows of ashigaru warriors with arquebuses, literal early firearms traded by the Portuguese and now produced by the Japanese. Now let's press play on this encounter to see how the battle unfolds. The Greeks march, their phalanx allowing them significant protection from the front. Leonidas has a nagging feeling in his gut that this encounter feels familiar. Hundreds of horses peel away from the Japanese army to flank the phalanx. The Greeks will adapt once they close, otherwise their formation and speed will be affected. Though the Greeks number more than double the Japanese, there's one fatal flaw. The Japanese have guns, as well as steel-tipped arrows, and the Greeks only wear bronze armor and shields. The Spartans are basically done for before the battle even begins. As cavalry harass their flanks, the Greeks slow, creating a circular spear formation. No longer advancing, the ranged units of the Japanese unleash thunderous volley after volley of bullets and arrows at the Greeks, who are powerless to stop the projectiles, their bronze armor proving ineffective at protecting from such advanced materials and weapons. Their numbers are being whittled down, hundreds of Greeks and Spartans falling with each volley. Leonidas himself is injured, and the nagging feeling in his mind finally remembers. In his dreams, he's fought a battle like this before, where these seemingly magical weapons cast thunder at his men and they're torn to shreds. He rages at his fate and commands the remaining Greeks to loosen formation and charge at the Japanese. The Spartans' training allow them to fight almost on par with the samurai, their martial prowess shining through. Though unexpected, the samurai hardly have a difficult time dealing with the remaining Greeks, whose numbers have been done away with massively. Katanas slash and pikes find their marks in hundreds of dead Greeks, the cavalry of the Japanese finishing off the remaining Greeks, the Spartans and Leonidas being the last to fall. As Leonidas heaves his last breath, his vision distorts, and the sun changes, the wind on his skin carrying the smells of his home to him. He rights himself and sees that he's back at Thermopylae with not a scratch on him. These horrifying dreams must be the works of the gods, preparing Leonidas for things to come. As he once more readies his men for battle, being given seemingly another chance at redemption, he burns the memory of those strange warriors from before into his mind, as well as their thunderous weapons. Next time, he'll be ready. A flash of light appears and another army, 10,000 strong, appear before the Greeks. Leonidas watches and sees that these seem to be the same people he and his men just fought in his dream, only this time things are different. These samurai are from the Heian period, around 500 years before those we just met, wielding not steel armor but wood and bamboo instead. Leonidas is furious from his dreams. This time he will not accept defeat as the outcome. Whatever cruel twist of fate has been dealt him, he will alter it by his own hand. The Spartans form up, phalanx in the pass at the ready as the Japanese army advances. Horses and archers fly into the banks, eager to meet the Spartans. The Spartans witness their lack of discipline and smirk. Leonidas fires up his troops and they stand more steadfast than ever. Horses are impaled upon waiting Spartan spears. Finding no weakness to exploit, archers rain arrows onto the Spartans, but their armor and shields hold true, resisting the onslaught with ease. Early samurai pour into the pass and fall upon the Spartans in a ferocious attack. These samurai are ill-disciplined though, and though they have steel katanas, the Spartans are true warriors. Their bronze forged with advanced processes for their time and withstand the assault on equal footing. The phalanx not only holds, Leonidas is out for blood. Tired of his losses in his visions, he advances, the phalanx cutting down the samurai with their spears' range. The Japanese don't surrender, however, and fight to the last. The Greeks take losses, but nowhere near as many as the Japanese, who recklessly attacked, allowing the disciplined Spartans to slay their final foe and celebrate in a howl of triumph. Our hero, Leonidas, has fought a foe from 1,300 years in the future and won. It's here that we leave Leonidas to a well-earned rest after his escapades on our channel. Armor and weapons technology play a massive part in these battles, but martial prowess cannot be underestimated, and this is where the Spartans truly shine. Tell us what you thought of the battle. If you were Leonidas, was there anything you might have tried or done differently? Let us know in the comments. If you made it this far, we have a video on how a horse's ass made the space shuttle. Don't believe me? Check it out right here. As always, like and subscribe for more videos like this, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you in the next video.